the negative is higher than the positive. All of my work is predicated on the power of negative thinking. It has always been that way in my work. In our Protestant thinking, positive thinking society, everything was the power of positive thinking. You know, it all stemmed from the Norman Vincent Peale and Protestantism in general, which kind of strips the real from the situation as depicted on the cross itself as opposed to the crucifix, which is depicted in the Roman Catholic religion. Once they take the body off the cross, they've cleansed it, they've positivized it. It's obviously two methods of thinking. There's positive and there's negative. There's no language without a negation. There's no language without negative sentences. I don't go there. I don't have any money. Without negative sentences, you have no language. So all this stuff about being positive, you know, or when a negative thought comes into your head, get rid of your negative thoughts. They don't understand the real power of negative thinking and the power of negation. Even in mathematics, negation has only been the past, like 100 years or so. Again, long-winded entry. The highest aspects in Judaism are called Ein Sof. Ein Sof, which is expressed with its first word being negative. Ein. Then after the Ein Sof, there's a level that they call, Ayin. Ein. Aleph Yud Nun. Just on its own. Again, negative. This is before we get to the yesh, the positive, the substance. There's also another term, and this is what I'm going to talk about today, because it's applicable. It's another term called Radlo. You ever hear of that? Resh, Dalet, Lamed, Aleph. They give the little squiggles before the Aleph. Radlo. That's considered the head that is not a head, and cannot be known, the head that is not known and cannot be known. That's the highest level of everything. Again, in this depiction of this Rod Lo, the last two letters are Lamed Aleph. Lo. No. You can only express something that high by negation. Even Maimonides' depiction of God is, you can only say something about God what he is not. You can't say something positive about God, because if you say something positive, you immediately are limiting that, you see. So you can't say God is a man. You can say God is not a man. So you can say everything he's not, because then in the final analysis, there's an empty space. Because he's more than anything you can depict. There's more than anything you can positively identify. And that's the area that represents the negative. That's Ein Sof, without end, and that's Rod Lo. Now, space in this Rod Lo, I'll give it to you again here. The letters are Resh, Dalet, Lamed, Aleph. And this is the point of how I'm coming into this. And this is a very deep thing. Those letters, that word Rod Lo contains the word Adar. Adar is found in Rod Lo. Adar is the month that is the leap year month that we're approaching. And the letters are rearranged, but they're found in the word Rod Lo. The other letter in the word Adar is Aleph, Dalet, Resh. And the extra letter there is Lamed. And so this is how we know that the word Adar is really found in Rod Lo, because Adar is the month that's added as a leap year. It's fitted in as a leap year. And the other letter of Rod Lo that's not found in Adar is the Lamed, which is 30. And it just so happens that the leap year month is always 30 days. That leap year month as 30 days is Adar 1, that we wedge in. See? We wedge in. Remember now, they say that they like Adar 2, the 29-day Adar, the regular month of Adar, to be next to Purim. So that the beginning can be found in the end. But they like to wedge in, and this is the genius of this. They wedge in the month of Adar in the middle, right after Shevat, comes Adar 1, the 30-day leap year month, and then Adar 2. This Adar 1 comes from a space of Rod Lo. You're going to be entering Rod Lo, the highest level where the Atzmutz resides. They say that the place where the Atzmutz is concealed is Rod Lo. What is the Atzmutz level? It's the 6th level. It's above the Yehida level. It's the essence level. 30 days is another number that's a propitious number, because it's the number of days that the Zelem leaves before your death. But in my opinion also, the Zelem comes in 30 days before your birth. The Zelem is a fabulous concept. Zelem is number 160 in Gematria. It's also a number, when you spell it full out, comes out to be 358, which is Mashiach. But for the time being, we're going to leave it as the 160 in Gematria, because it represents, 160 also represents the number of, that's Kayan. Kayan represents 160. Another thing about 160, and this is one of my meditations in the Shema, there's a Hiddush here, is that the din of the letters Shema. Shema is Shin, so that's Shin, Yud, Nun, that's 60. Mem is 40, the din, because it's Mem, that's 100. And then Ayin, the din is 60, that's 160. So the din of the word Shema is 160, and that's Zelem. It's also the number of Kayan. And these are two good meditations for you when you say the word Zelem. But the depth of finding the Atzmutz level within Rod Lo, because it's hidden in Rod Lo, is for me the greatest secret. Because you have to enter the negative for this. And you have to appreciate one great thing. Atzmutz is really Etz Mavet, tree of death. This tree of death, which is actually symbolized in the Christian cross, Catholic cross. This tree of death is the highest level. And until one can recognize that the tree of death is what they're reaching for in the tree of life. There's even something about the reaching of the hand. Raised from his hand. And that hand, which is, have to block it so he can't reach and find the tree of life and eat the fruit of the tree of life. Well, what hand is that? That's the Yad Ramah. That's the third hand. That third hand is the center hand. In that center hand, one has to recognize that the tree, it's not that the two trees are equal, the tree of life and the tree of death. It's that the tree of life is the tree of death. And that in a certain sense, death in this method is higher than life. Because the left, the negative, is higher than the positive. The without is higher than the with. The left hand higher than the right. The access to the highest regions are through the left. The 50th gate is from Bina to Keta. The left and negation. So unless you're able to enter negation, like bittul, it's a negation of the self. See? Unless there's a negation in everything, a giving up, so to speak, only then can you enter the true yesh, the true substance. That can only be entered through the negation. You know, at the tip of the pyramid, there's nothing. You know? So this is the entry of negation. And, you know, that's what they used to say about Hegel, to tarry with the negative. All these higher echelon philosophers used to approach things with negation, you see. And it's not accepted here in a world that's made money off of giving you baloney about yourself. You're an individual. You're powerful. Even in Judaism, the Yehida, the individuality. And what's above the Yehida? The Atzmuts, the tree of death. When you can see this, then you enter the spiritual worlds. Then there's a whole different level, and you'll see things when you walk down the street, that people are into physical things, and the people who make money and livelihoods off your physical desires. There's another desire for the ruchnius, for the spiritual. We're going to be talking about this because this is what it's all about. This year, you have a chance here now with the coming of Adar 1. Adar 1 is your entry into the Rod Low area, where the Atzmuts is concealed. And you have 30 days here this year. This is your amazing entry. 30 days, which happens to be the number of days of the Nazir oath. You have 30 days to enter into this area. Enter into the Zelem kind of area. Enter into an area that's like beyond space. There's a slight parallel here between Adar 1 and Heshvan, because there are no holidays in Heshvan, and quite frankly, there's not many holidays. There's no holidays in Adar 1. It's wedged in, fitted in. And that's the secret. It's the in-between.